What do gods do when they're bored? Well, of course, they just summon a bunch of unwilling adventurers into a floating arena and have them go through a bunch of trials. If they die, they die. If they survive, they get to cross the Bifrost Bridge, which nobody really knows what that means. All while the gods are laughing, drinking, and arguing their asses off. Hi there fellow roleplayers and game masters, my name is Mr. Tarask and this is another sponsored video by Everon Games, which means two things. The first thing is that you get yourself another completely free adventure in the form of a adventure where you go through a bunch of trials set up by the gods, and the gods are literally laughing in your face. It's a really funny adventure, a really funny module. And the second thing that happens due to a sponsored video is that this channel is supported a little bit extra and I get to keep doing what I'm doing right here on this channel. So Everon Games, thank you so freaking much. I appreciate it a ton. And yeah, without further ado, let's take a look at Asgard Amusement. Now there are timestamps in the video, so if you want to see me talk about this PDF, immediately click the timestamp after this one, because right now I need to really quickly talk about how you can get this adventure and how it works. A lot of you will probably already know that the people behind this have a system set up. You can click the link in the description below, and basically there's two ways of getting this. The first way is just paying $2.99 and grabbing it. That's the first way, which is basically, it's well worth it. This one is a 76 pages thick adventure. It's not a one-shot. It is an adventure that will take you multiple sessions. You cannot play this through this in like one session. It will take you multiple sessions. These are full-length adventures for $2.99. So you can sign up for that. But what you can also do is pick the free kind of thingy. And what that happens then is you get entered into their newsletter, and you get a part of this every week. And you need to claim every part of it. Every time you get that email, once a week you get an email, claim that part. After you claim 4 parts, you get the entire thing for free. Entirely. So the first time you get like a bunch of stuff that introduces you to it, then you get some more stuff, and the 4th time you get to download the entire thing completely for free. Now, if you join in like, it's one a month, by the way. If you join in the middle of the month, don't worry. If you sign up now for like this is the March release. If you sign up now for the March release, you get everything, like you get all of the other stuff once you sign up, and it's backwards compatible. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. You get all of that stuff. You can just with the click of a button. That's the way it works. Now, if you buy it for $2.99, it comes with a little bit of extra stuff. It comes with high resolution maps to play for your virtual tabletop. You can even print those out, if I'm not mistaken. They're really high resolution kind of thing, and a 20% discount on miniatures. They also sell miniatures that are tied to the adventures they put out, which makes it like a complete thing, and you get a 20% discount on those miniatures if you pick the $3 tier. So the $3 tier, $2.99, it will go off of your account every month, but you will get one of these really good adventures every single month. And with that said, there's one really important thing that I want to say about this is, and these are getting better. I love them when they first started putting out these adventures, but they are getting better. And this one I think is really funny. You might have noticed that I skipped a month, maybe 2 months of talking about these adventures. There were adventures. I just skipped a few months due to being super busy and everything with other stuff. But I'm picking this up again right now. And this is Asgard Amusement. Now, I don't want to go through the entire PDF. Like always, I just want to give you like the gist of it, talk to you about what it is and what it is about and how you can run it and why I really love it. Now, they say this is playable, ready to play at any level. Now, I would advise to play this early tier 2, and the reason for that is the gods pick a few what they think are worthy champions or whatever you want to call them, and put them in a floating arena, a gods arena, and make them go through trials. It wouldn't make sense, in my opinion, to have like level 1, 2, or 3 characters put in that situation, because they haven't like really proven themselves. They've been beating the shit out of some orcs. Maybe they worked together and defeated the Hydra already, but other than that, they didn't really do like this really cool stuff. And that happens like for me at level 5, level 6. That's where the gods might start to be like, oh, these guys are really cool. We might want to pick those guys and put them in this arena and have a laugh and see that they are actually really weak. So what happens is, this is really cool. So this is funny, and yeah, for a game master, this kind of stuff is, you can really have fun with this. So, the gods, bored and craving of entertainment, have summoned mortals from across the realms to participate in their bizarre game, the Trials of the Bifrost. The party must survive 5 challenges, each based on the gods' adventures. If they succeed, they will earn the right to cross the Bifrost Bridge and access whatever realm is on the other side. So, God knows, literally. If they fail, they will be doomed to the surreal task of unwinding the world serpent, Jorgundor, or die. So the objectives are: survive 5 divine trials to earn passage of the Bifrost Bridge, outwit, outfight, and outmaneuver the gods' cruel sense of humor, and face Fenrir, the guardian of the Bifrost Bridge. So, the God's Domain is a surreal, ever-shifting landscape designed purely for their amusement. It exists beyond mortal comprehension, a place where logic bends to the whims of the celestial architects. So, yeah. Let me see, where did they have this first section? So they first talk about like, this is a checkpoint-based adventure, and I really like that about the Everon adventures. Everon has been doing that since they have been sending me adventures. It is a checkpoint-based adventure. So before I talk about a little bit more about how it starts and everything, they have all of these checkpoints, and you can start with, like, for example, the players get to choose what challenge they want to do first. Thor's challenge, Freya's challenge, Theus' challenge, or that you need to try that, or Loki's challenge. So they choose one, for example, this one, and then they go through these episodes. But at the end of some, there are some events that can happen or whatever, or other parts of the adventure that aren't really necessarily tied to a certain section of the story, but this is other stuff that can happen. For example, once the PCs assemble the full disguise, the bridge is presented to Theron and the wedding ceremony begins. What do? Event Housewives of Jotunheim. So you click that and you go, oh, that's literally now the next one, which was a really bad example. But sometimes you click that and you go to the right page of that checkpoint. So this becomes like almost one of those old school choose your own adventure type of things that you used to do in the backseat of your car at long drives when you didn't have internet access or a phone yet because you were a kid and it didn't exist yet, and you were like flipping through a book and you needed to like choose whatever happened to your hero. And you could replay the heck out of it because it was always different if you made different decisions. That is basically what this is all about. What this also does. Maybe not like in the same manner, there's maybe like a little bit toned down compared to those adventures, but kind of same idea. You have like these big checkpoints, which are the trails, the start of each trails, but then there are these random kind of events that you click, and then you go to that page, you do that event, and then you click another link, and you go back to that thingy that you departed from, basically. That is the basic setup of all of these adventures, by the way, which makes them not only really cool to play, but also run as a GM, because if you're going to run this for a bunch of players and then run this for a bunch of other players, you might get an entirely different experience from both parties. So yeah, the players awaken in the Divine Colosseum, an impossibly large arena floating on a celestial void. Above them, a vast sky filled with the swarming constellations illuminate the scene. At the highest point of the Colosseum, the gods lounge upon their gilded thrones, drinking from goblets the size of barrels and tossing wagers back and forth. Some look amused, others disinterested, and a few, Loki in particular, appear too eager for what's about to unfold. The players are given a brief chance to interact with each other before their trial is revealed. I added the each other each other part. During this time, the gods may, for example, mock them, send gifts, or do other things. For example, they could throw, like, they could mock them and are like, are these really the best mortals we could find? And then Loki might be, oh, I like that one because they look like they might cry soon. That kind of stuff, right? They could also send gifts, between brackets, it says curses, to the players. Yes, every god. It's kind of like the Hunger Games where the rich people can send like gifts to players. The gods can basically do the same thing, right? So, for example, just pick an example. Freya's favor, a divine rose that grants advantage on persuasion, but causes wild magic surges when used. Loki's trick is also a gift, a mysterious rune-marked key that unlocks any door, except it's a trap that teleports the user somewhere very inconvenient. That kind of stuff, right? So the gods can mock them, they can give them gifts, they can do other things. This is like all open to the GM to come up with their own stuff, all that kind of stuff. Each gift is bestowed via a divine intervention, either appearing in the PC's hands, falling from the sky, or materializing out of thin air. Poof! Odin claps his hands and announces the start of the godly games. He explains that they have selected the best adventurers to see if mortals can survive, reliving the events of the gods' lives, not as mere spectators, but as the main characters themselves. While he seems to mock the contestants, he also speaks seriously, claiming that this is a way for them to prove themselves and for the gods to understand mortals better. Now, in reality, that's completely not true. They are going to be the lead characters in parts of the gods' lives, but the gods are like messing with them and doing all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Odin allows the contestants to choose which trial they would like to undertake. First, they can select from Thor, Tyr, Loki, and Freya. But they must complete all 4 trials before facing the final challenge, which is Odin's trial. If the players ask whatever they can refuse, Odin bluntly states that the only way to leave this place is through death or by winning. When inquiring about a prize, the players learn that the winners will gain the opportunity to cross the Bifrost Bridge and meet their destinies on the other side. And that's basically it. Now, some of these titles of these trials are funny because there is the just married, just kidding one. There is the fine print is written in runes. There is the tier one, brew or die trying. And Loki's one is why so serious. Now, I don't want to go too deep in all of these, but for example, let's go to a brew or die trying. The PCs find themselves standing in an empty white room. A massive door appears where there was none. It creaks open, and through its steps Tyr, the god of war and justice. He informs the mortals they are going on a mission of great importance, pacing and gesturing grandly. He explains that his father, Hymnir, owns a mighty kettle capable of brewing ale strong enough to make even the gods forget their troubles. Thor wants the kettle, and Tyr admits, after a pause and a sigh, that he wants it too. Turning to fix the party with a hard stare, he warns them that his father is no fool. Hymnir is strong, suspicious, and worst of all, a chef. His kitchen is sacred, and no guest is welcome unless they prove useful. The PC's goal is to steal the legendary kettle before the giant chef notices. With that, the room vanishes in a swirl of mist, and that's where this trial starts, and all of these shenanigans start to happen. Now, one of the main important things about this is that there's, for example, here people get, if you give somebody Freya's favor, for example, you get advantage on persuasion, right? But causes wild magic surges when used. But it gives you advantage on persuasion. Now, this might not seem like a super cool thing in an adventure, but this is not merely a combat-focused adventure. There is combat in here, absolutely, but there's also sneaky stuff in here. There's also a lot of talking in here, a lot of convincing, a lot of puzzle solving. Every aspect, every pillar of a good tabletop RPG adventure is in the 76 thick pages of this adventure. And that's what makes this kind of adventure really, really cool. Now, if you're wondering if you need anything other than this book to run this adventure, no, you don't. This is completely standalone. It is built for 5th edition, so if you have a bunch of 5th edition characters or Tales of the Valiant, if you want to play with Tales of the Valiant, you can just run it for them, because it is a complete adventure with all of the chapters and the trials and everything in them. And then there is an arcane codex which has like information about all of the items. There's new spells in here, there's a minigame in here, there are NPC stat blocks for every monster they encounter or might encounter. There's a stat block for every god, a stat block for every monster, the barbarian, the berserker, dwarven warrior, all of that stuff. There's NPC cards that you can even like cut out and give to your players. For example, let me just like click quickly, like right here, you can look, you could like cut this out and give this to the players, but also you also have a card that basically just has the stats of that creature or character that is in the game. There's a bunch of player handouts. There's an encounter generator table for if your players run into like an encounter, a random encounter, for their level or tier or their experience range. There's a bunch of maps that you get high resolution versions of if you pick up the $2.99 version of this adventure. Yeah, there's so much in here. There's like all of the items they might need or find or whatever in the game are all explained in this adventure. So yeah, stat blocks, items, new spells, art for all of the NPCs, a full-on adventure that will take you, I don't know, my guess is this will take you about 4 sessions to complete. I think, depending on your session, if your session is 2 hours or 4 hours long, that might be completely different. But for me, this feels like a 3-4, and if you play it like really slowly and methodically, it might even be a 5-session adventure. And that is what, yeah, I really absolutely love this. And this is going into my will use this later folder that I have on my computer, because yes, I have a folder on my computer that is full of like PDFs and stuff that I just like, I have it in there, and whenever I need something, I can take out what I need and read it and put it in front of my players and see how they cope with, in this case, gods laughing in their face. And that's it for this month's adventure from Everon Games. You can buy it for $2.99, which gives you a bunch of high-resolution maps, or you can download it for free by signing up. Link in the description below. You just have to claim 4 buttons in the newsletter, and then after the 4th time, you get the free adventure and everything for free into your mailbox. And some people have stated in like my first videos about this that it's a scam because it doesn't work. I've tested it every single time, and it just works. You just need to watch for like the newsletter to come in, click the button, and then wait and do that like 4 times, and you get the free adventure. And until next video, bye bye. Also, Everon Games, thank you so much for sponsoring another video.